Alongside Brent Hubbs, I'm Austin Price. 2-minute drill on this Monday. Got to catch up with the quartet of Vols. Let's start with Hendon Hooker, who it says this team's focused. They're ready to go. They've not been able to do as much best on best in Nashville as he'd like, but says they're as prepared a team as they can be.
And they're the ones playing the bowl games for the most part. I mean, this is a Tennessee team that's pretty healthy. This is a Tennessee team that I think wants to finish the right way. And everybody's talked about that. And Cedric Tillman, who visited with the media today, talked about how focused this team is and how much they want to win this game, finish this season off the right way, to celebrate this season, but obviously to lay the continued groundwork moving forward, particularly for these guys that are coming back, such as Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I asked Hendon Hooker that exact thing about how much can this springboard you into next year. And he said a lot, and he even referenced recruiting. I thought that was interesting. The quarterback's thinking about the impact of finishing the season strong, getting into next year, and how much that helps the future of the program from a recruiting standpoint. I thought, to me, was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and Cedric Tillman talked about the importance of leading. He said Hendon's more vocal. He'll lead in different ways than I will, but it's on us to lead this offense. It's our challenge. It's what we have to do to continue to build moving forward. I thought it was interesting. Cedric Tillman did not shy away when asked the question, how much influence did Hendon Hooker have on your return? Since he was coming back, what did that mean? And he said, I'm not going to lie to you. His return meant a lot for me in making my decision about my return to Tennessee because of the connection those two have, the chemistry they have, and how well they've meshed in this offense.
Got up with Jerome Carvin. He said that, the week off for finals kind of threw him into a little bit of a loop because they had been going tempo, take a week off. You just get a little rusty, but he called him a well-oiled machine right now. He feels like that this is going to be a big advantage going into Purdue because he said, quote, I don't believe Purdue's seen anybody go with the tempo we go at.
No, they have not. And I think that's pretty obvious when you look at their schedule. That's not the case. I asked Jabari Small a similar question. How much rust do you have? And he said, it comes back to you pretty fast. Once you get an understanding of it, he said, it's not like when they introduced it to us in spring practice or even in fall camp. We played it for 12 games, a little bit of rust in Knoxville, knock it off, and then you're right back into your regular flow and your regular tempo. The other thing about Jabari, he says he's as healthy as he's been probably since the season started. Talked about how difficult that shoulder injury was to manage both physically and mentally for him. Feels like he is at a different place right now than he was middle part of this season.
Back to Hendon Hooker, he did reference Cade Mays, asked about, if he knew what Cade was going to do. He said no, said that if, they were going to have a talk, he would only do so if, the situation presented itself. Did not feel like it was his place to, go and constantly badger him about coming back because he didn't probably want to be badgered by people about his decision. I know Josh Heupel alluded to yesterday that, Cade wants to play. I'll be surprised if he plays.
Yeah, I think he does want to play. I just don't think physically he's at a position where he's going to be effective enough to play. And he's not practiced enough. And, we talk about knocking off rust. Well, this team's knocked off rust for a couple of weeks now. He's not played in 6 weeks, 7 weeks. It's hard to come back and play that position. I'd be really surprised if he's a factor for Tennessee on Thursday.
He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. That's it from Nashville here on this Monday.